Welcome to the Your Entrepreneurship School podcast, or as I like to call it, the Yes Podcast. My name is Bridal Babes. I'm an executive business consultant for women who dream of living wildly and wealthy abroad. The Yes Podcast is for women who are ready to build a business that funds her dream life abroad so she can expand her business, bank account, and brilliance without settling for a life that tames her wildness. The Yes Podcast is sponsored by Bridal Babes Yoga, a Luxe start to your celebration. Ready to elevate your bachelorette or hen-do weekend with something truly unforgettable? My Bridal Babes Yoga experiences are crafted with intention, movement, and connection because you deserve more than just the usual. Immerse yourself in a soulful, joy-filled session designed exclusively for you and your crew. Whether you crave a restorative morning flow, a themed class with playful energy, or a heart-centered practice to set powerful intentions for this next chapter, we'll curate a dreamy experience that feels as radiant and one-of-a-kind as your love story. What to expect? Thoughtfully curated playlist, essential oil-infused head massage, a pause to breathe, move, laugh, and connect with the optional add-ons of tarot card reading, astrology chart reading, and friendship bracelet making. This isn't just a yoga class. It's a radiant start to your weekend, an unforgettable moment of luxurious relaxation and joy before the confetti. Let's make magic for your bridal crew. To book a Bridal Babes yoga class, you can go to bridalmarita.com/bridal-babes-yoga or find our link in the show notes. Hello, welcome to the Yes Podcast. If you are new to listening to this podcast, my name is Bridal Babes, and today I have one of my favorite people in the yoga industry joining me, Susanne Rieker. Welcome to the podcast. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your journey, what you do, where you're at, and then we'll dive in.
Hey, Britta, thanks for having me. I'm so honored to be on your new podcast. I'm Susanne Rieker. I'm originally from Germany, but I live in Mallorca in Spain, little Mediterranean paradise. And I'm a business coach and mentor. I work with yoga teachers, Pilates instructors, health and wellness coaches. I call them now heart-led entrepreneurs and help them package their expertise and wisdom into digital offers. That's the gist of it.
I love this. And because this is the Yes Podcast, do you mind sharing with us something you're saying yes to today, whether it's in your life or your business?
I am saying yes, I think, to so many things. I feel like, oh my God, I just had like a half a minute to think about that. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to say? Saying yes to embracing the rainy weather outside.
Bummer.
Yes, because that's really when you live. I'm from Germany, which obviously get traumatized by the weather. I really, really love the summer here in Spain, but it's been very, very hot. So it's really nice now.
Love that. I love that it's nice now. Okay, well, I'm really excited you're here because you are someone who I have been following online for many years. We've had beautiful opportunities to work together and to learn from one another. And what you do is you work with yoga teachers and people who are wellness entrepreneurs, and you help them design, build, and launch digital packages and online packages. If someone was fresh out of yoga teacher training, what could they do? Or what is your advice for them to start building an online business versus, teaching 20 to 30 classes at a studio per week?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I mean, I think what's most important is first and foremost to practice, to keep up your yoga practice, and probably also really to teach, to get experience with that and embrace like teaching in studios, community, and having those connections. When it comes to building an online business, niching is such a completely different beast compared to when you build a local business, because when when you're teaching in studios, your location is already your niche, or when you have a studio. But when you want to build an online business, and maybe it's even just a side hustle or something, everybody who's using the internet is, in theory, your potential clients. I know it's difficult when you're just getting started and you're probably passionate about a million things, and then you want to do like a breathwork training and you want to do like sound healing And you're like so many yoga teachers rush like from training to training to training. And that's amazing and it's beautiful. And I want you to try out all of those things. But what I would do is maybe come up with a signature workshop. Doesn't have to be the one thing that you box yourself in for the next 5 years, but maybe at least for the next 6 months, you want to get known for that one thing. And I think that can even help you locally when you teach in studios and you can say, I have this workshop. That's something special. And so you can host it in person and you can host it online. So, yeah, so maybe you're really interested in prenatal yoga. Or maybe it's how to create your own yoga morning routine. Or maybe it's about manifesting, whatever it is. Something that adds a little bit to that normal yoga class experience. I mean, that's beautiful in itself, but you're like, there's something that makes you stand out and that you can grow into becoming an expert in. And then you can start offering that online.
I love this answer. And I have a question to further this because I'm someone who loves a million things. I'm very passionate about multiple things. And I'm at a point where I have to put all the other passions into a spreadsheet and put dates on when I will launch those in the future so it doesn't interfere with what I'm currently offering. Do you have have you ever had a client who is similar to me with all these passions? To get them to stand in that one signature offer for 6 months, regardless of their other passions, like to get them to be confident in it and stick with it so that it will have a successful launch and they can call in the consistent clients?
I mean, that's where support can be really, really helpful. What's mostly distracting people isn't so much that it's really like different passions. It's more like fears, procrastination, perfectionism, mindset blocks showing up. Suddenly you're thinking, oh, I should create this freebie first, or oh, I should do that. And it's actually just like that fear of putting yourself out there in a bigger way. It's that fear of making the leap into something bigger where people might judge you because you're claiming to be an authority on that topic. You are claiming that you're here to provide a bigger transformation. And that's scary. So it's really about sitting with your feelings and trying to figure out what's really going on first, having that awareness basically, and then just like accepting it because we all have those mindset blocks and what's going on. And yes, and when it's really like, no, I'm all there for that. I don't have any mindset blocks. Thank you very much. I just have a lot of passions and a lot of ideas. Yeah, time them is probably a good idea. Using ChatGPT to help you create a plan, so a priority list maybe. Um, and sometimes it's also combining things that you do. So, for example, a lot of yoga teachers have so much expertise in all different kind of fields, like breath work, like meditation, asana, maybe life coaching. And then it's not so much about choosing one thing, because those are all just different tools in your toolbox.
I agree with
So
this.
it's more about really identifying a problem that you want to help people with. So, and that can be really hard. And that can also be a little bit, yes, you have to put on your like CEO pants and make a decision. But that's what you have to do when you want to run a business and not a hobby. You have to give a little bit of tough love here. I'm all for, like listening to your intuition and following your passions. But at the same time, you want to make a sustainable income. And sometimes that means making the hard decisions and sticking with something.
Couldn't agree with this more, especially when it comes to sticking with something. Can you give us an example? Because I see this a lot in the yoga industry of like the real life problems that someone could solve in an example business versus I see a lot of like very woo-woo, spiritual, not exactly grounded on the earth problems that people are having. So for me, it's like maybe someone's experiencing back pain, like severe back pain because they work a 9 to 5 in a chair all day. Can you maybe provide some examples of a problem that a yoga teacher could solve because it's happening in real life?
My God, yes. So, I mean, back pain, obviously, it's a big issue. And it's one of those things, like people don't really invest in prevention. So I'm just like telling people you should do yoga to prevent back pain or to prevent falling when you get older. It's going to be really, really difficult to sell.
Yes.
I know what we should do, but, right? So helping people with physical problems that show up, yes, that's a very profitable niche because when you have an issue like you can't sleep or you have back pain or you have a baby who can't sleep, you're probably going to pay someone whatever they ask for to get a solution.
It's true.
That's like really like niches where there's a pain point that's quite strong. What's most difficult is having those nice to have things.
Yeah.
Probably like something that nobody's really investing in nice to haves right now, especially when the economy is a little bit tough. So it really is like helping, yeah, identifying a problem niche. And it doesn't have to be something life changing. It doesn't have to be back pain. It can also be that people feel suddenly completely disconnected from their bodies or not like themselves anymore because they are in perimenopause. I mean, that's a really big niche right now, creating offers for women in midlife, in perimenopause. Losing weight, I think, is one of those external struggles
Yeah.
that people are always looking solutions for. In the end, it comes down, there's those three niches that always do well as wealth. Basically, how to build a business, how to make more money, health, how to get rid of your back
Yeah.
pain, your hips, etc., hip pain, and relationships, how to find love, how to look good naked.
Yes, this is definitely a niche.
So, some of my students inside the Blissful Biz Academy right now, they're working on a program. One is an amazing woman in California. She's been living in an ashram for over 30 years, studying, teaching, and she's creating a program, Yoga Philosophy for yoga teachers, how to teach more confidently and from a feminine perspective,
Mhm.
because it's super, super interesting. And another is creating a program to help women ease into retirement.
I love
So
this.
I think that's such a big market as well. And
Yeah.
there's such a potential. People are really looking for answers online there
I think this
as
is
well.
such a good niche and a great answer. I love that you use the word ease, like how to ease into retirement. As someone who is very much from the Western world, where like I just grew up in a city where all we do is work, I wouldn't even know what that looks like when I'm ready to retire. So that's something I would definitely look into. That's excellent. Earlier, you mentioned a bit about Chat GPT. And this is something that I use in my business. And I also saw on your website that you have some offerings around it. Can you share a bit about how ChatGPT had versus like rather than being scared of AI and scared of the future of AI, which seems to be very much like there's a lot of fear around this, how can it actually enhance your business and help you not only get more clients, but build something that is long lasting that makes an impact in the yoga industry?
That's such a great question. I have to say, when you think AI is dangerous or something, yeah, it might be. But the truth is, we can't control it.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to worry about things that haven't happened yet and that I have no control over whatsoever. So I'm all for embracing it. And if you don't embrace it and use it, your competition will or other people will.
Mic drop.
So yeah. Um, no, I find it immensely helpful. I mean, I started using it for content creation like most of us, and then you become a little bit, now I start sounding like everybody else. Maybe I should stop it. So, like that took a while, and now I really use it as a business coach. Yes, for content creation, for repurposing content, like my podcast, where I used to have like a whole team with a VA, with a podcast editor. And now I just do it with AI and it just creating the script. I record it. I enter my rambles. I ramble about what I want to talk about. Sometimes it's even a voice note that I record when I'm walking. Then AI helps me create this beautiful script in my voice. I record it, and then it's just like, okay, now turn this into show notes, turn this into a podcast, write a newsletter, write a carousel post, create headlines and descriptions for Pinterest. And it just takes, I'm not going to say it takes 30 minutes, it takes a little bit longer, obviously. But it still saves so much time. So it's amazing for that. And yes, also for the strategizing. I think it's so much fun to have a partner who's really encouraging and positive and has so much knowledge about everything in your market and your industry to use that really to strategize, to brainstorm ideas, to help me, like plan out my offer suite, my marketing strategies. Yeah, it's just like something that I enjoy a lot more with AI. I also even looked into creating images with AI. One of my students is amazing with that. She just tells those tools, okay, to like describes the image, and then she has the most beautiful images on her website and on social media. Like, where did you get it? Yeah, they're from AI. So, and this is something where I also see so much potential. I mean, just imagine you don't have the money for a yoga photo shoot. You're just a new yoga teacher. And so you can just take a few headshots and then you can ask AI to create a photo of you, like based on that, sitting in a beautiful New York City loft. The sun is shining through the windows, and
Yeah.
there are like some crystal bowls in the background. And I don't know.
I agree with this. A lot of my clients, we have AI photos for their ads and they do really well. They actually tend to do better than the photos that they paid hundreds of dollars
Really?
for. Yeah. And it's just, we basically have the client in like a bright colored shirt that's a solid color, and then it will put them in a room that just matches everything in their aesthetic and they sell really well.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing what you can do. And if you have fun with that, I would really say experiment. Maybe even create sequences or plans or something with AI that you can then sell, for example.
I agree with this wholeheartedly. I use AI in my business, like I shared, and I love it from the creative perspective. To me, it really just fills my creative cup, especially in my business. And like you said, it is a business partner in a way, or kind of like your own VA who they are not only very positive and encourage you and keep you in that much needed positive bubble that we need as business owners, but I just love that they can put it in our voice and still sound like you versus what a lot of people might think like, oh, this AI robot. And I'm like, no, it still sounds like me. And that's, I think, the beauty of it. And I love how you shared how we're not worrying about the future, especially as yoga teachers, when we are taught to teach people how to be present. And I think ChatGPT and AI in general might be a really good practice for us to not live in fear, but to live here now.
Yes, exactly. And there's something else that I wanted to say, but I think I lost it.
It's all good. I would love to. I was checking out your website, and on your website, you have one on one offers and you have online courses. Can you share, like, maybe who for you a one on one would be versus an online course and how that could potentially help people if they're looking to build one on one consulting in their online business versus an online course? Do you think both are needed, or someone should build one and work on that for a bit and then launch the other?
That's a good question. For me, the focus in my business wasn't ever really on one-on-one.
Yeah.
I started really selling an online course. I'm not sure that was the smartest strategy because obviously I thought I'm going to be rich, and then I sold 6 spots and made $1,200 with my first online course back
Woo!
in 2016.
I love.
But I was still working as a freelancer. So I was working in Germany, freelancing in advertising for half the year, and then going back to Bali to work on my business. That stopped me from also having one on one clients because when I was working full time in advertising agency, it just wasn't possible.
Yeah.
So that's why I really focus on digital products. This was probably also a little bit of a mindset block because one on one is one of the best ways to start to get to a sustainable income in your business, to sell like a more premium service without having a big audience or having any
Yeah.
audience really, because obviously you just need like a handful of clients and you already have like a really solid foundation.
I agree with this. Yes, wholeheartedly.
And with an online course, it's going to be more difficult. But in the end, it comes down also like to like, what do you want your life to look like? Do you have time for one-on-ones? There's always going to be that, where you can't sell more time, that barrier. So you're selling your time for money. That doesn't work for everybody.
I agree with
So
this.
some of my clients, they still have like a job, or they have small children, or they're traveling a lot. So they don't want one-on-one clients. And that also why in the past I didn't really want a lot of one-on-one clients. Now I'm opening I always had a few website clients, I had a few one-on-one clients, and I loved working with them, but I also really, really love working with my students in my group program. And I'm offering weekly coaching calls there, one-on-one calls. So it feels like this fusion
Yeah.
of a group program and community and obviously the curriculum. and then the one-on-one support. I think that's necessary today in online programs, especially if you want to sell a more premium program for at least a $500 or $1,000. And that's transformative. That's life-changing for your students and for you.
I
So
agree.
that's the goal, basically. But that means also you need to include support elements. It's not self-study. It's not film a bunch of videos, put it on your website, and then thinking like, okay, if I sell like 10 courses a month,
Yeah. I love
but
that very
that's not how
positive
it
thinking.
works. Yes, I mean, I tried that, but it
Doesn't
wasn't
work.
working. It doesn't work. So it's better, really, I believe really strongly in creating a more transformative, more premium experience that includes one-on-ones and start selling that. And even if you don't have a big audience yet, maybe you just have like 2 people who buy it in your first launch, but then you can continue selling it. So you should continue selling it year round, not just once or twice per year.
Love that you brought this up because I feel like 4 to 5 years ago, the trend was like you only launch at this time of the year and this time of the year. And I don't find that to be sustainable. And to me, it just doesn't logically make sense because we are human beings who can learn any time of year. And to make it evergreen and to just bring people in consistently. And I love the group program because they're not only learning from you, but they're learning from each other. And I think it's really inspiring to be in a group program where it's like, you're not alone in your struggles in your business. And like you see that maybe 5 other people have either been there or they're currently experiencing it. So I think like the shame aspect goes away so that you can be more present in your business to build and serve in the way that you're meant to. Can you talk a little bit about what you think like a couple years ago, like the sales seasons versus how it can really impact a business now when we're constantly selling and bringing more people in and serving them?
I think it makes things so much simpler. I mean, when you have a business, you need to sell, right? Otherwise, unfortunately it's not working. You build something amazing and people will come.
That's sweet.
That would be so nice, right? But so you have to sell. But what I found, if you have a signature program, and how I sell it is with a free training. So I launch it with a live masterclass, like a webinar. Then I re-recorded that training as an evergreen version. So evergreen means that it's selling year round. And I share that. Like when I talk about something on social media, I think about how does this relate to my program, to my content. So everything feels easier because everything is aligned to that. All roads lead to that one program, basically. And it makes my life so much simpler. So it's always like inviting people to that free training. And then we have some emails, some follow up, inviting them into the program. And yes, so that's good. That's running year round. And I think it's easier than having something new to sell or like a smaller course every month and launching something every month. I still have more offers. It's always a balance between that creativity and sometimes you really feel that urge and you want to put that out there. And I think that's fine, right? And having that strategic foundation.
I really resonate with this because as someone who has like owned yoga studios and managed them, a lot of times like, teachers will want to offer these great courses that they have, but like for example, no one asked for it. No one in the audience like said like, "Hey, I actually want to learn from this." Can we chat a bit about that like from an online perspective? Like, yes, we all have these beautiful creative business ideas that we are passionate about, but what happens when our audience does not resonate with it?
Then we have to try something new, right?
Yeah.
We don't really know. There are those people that say you have to build your audience for a year before you can sell something. I don't agree with that because
Same.
I think if you don't have anything to sell, you don't have a business. It's like when you look at like big brands, or like a coffee shop, right? You don't open a coffee shop, you come back in 6 months and we have amazing coffee for you.
Imagine. Oh Lord. It's not how it
No,
works.
you start selling the coffee.
That's such a great example of just like a very real life thing. Like you can't like only have coffee for 6 months. Like you can't just have a business for 6 months and then just go do what you want for 6 months. And I think this is, in my experience, a very real thing in the wellness industry that just because of to me, there's a lot of like floatiness and flakiness in our industry. And it's like one day, like our business is going really well. So we're a business owner. And then like the next day, it's not going so well. It's like we're not a business owner. And it's like, no, like we have to commit. And, running a business, especially as yoga entrepreneurs, it's the long game versus just doing it for a couple weeks when it feels like light and fluffy.
Yes, you would be very annoyed if your coffee shop is closed because, I don't know, Mercury is in retrograde and it doesn't feel aligned.
But yeah, the coffee's just, it's not vibing today.
Yeah, no coffee today, or no muffins, or
Something I really admire about you that I am constantly working on in my business is your ability to set boundaries based on your experience in the corporate world. And also a couple years ago, how you shut down your Twitter account because you didn't agree with how the employees were being treated or how the CEO of Twitter said they were going to treat their employees. And that really inspired me because to me, like I'm constantly learning how to follow through on my boundaries as a business owner. And I would love for you to talk a little bit about like, hey, like this didn't work for me and I'm doing it this way and it works because it resonates with me and my audience.
wow, that's interesting that's like the view from the outside. It feels very different from me sometimes. But yeah, I think, of course, it helps having really like decades of experience. And I don't know, I feel very grounded in my business and confident in how I run my business. You're like, even, yeah, we have times are not super easy right now. I also feel it that things are more tough than they, of course, it's not like in the pandemic anymore when everybody was like, teach me how to teach yoga online.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I'm really proud of what I've built and created over the last 8 years now. And I'm still here, right? So I see myself doing this really for the long, long term. But yeah, but I think it's normal to always question yourself, question things. Maybe you just try to create some general values for your business, what you really stand for. You can use AI to help you with that. You
Yeah.
print them out, put them on the wall.
It's what I do.
Right? So things like we don't lie.
Yeah. We do not lie.
We do not lie. We honor you. I don't know, things like I want my students to create amazing offers and not to lie. I'm not really it's not like front of my mind that I think
Yeah.
about that.
I think you are someone who embodies it. In my opinion,
Maybe.
like as someone from the outside view, like that's to me, you are very grounded and you are very confident and knowledgeable in your business. And I see that as someone like viewing your content and going on your website. Um, and speaking of that, you have built a really beautiful life for yourself in Mallorca because of your business. And I would love to just hear about a day in the life in Mallorca for you, but also like what it means for yoga teachers to have a life that fulfills them because they built their own online business.
Yes. So for me, freedom is one of my biggest values.
Yes.
I'm always been. Maybe it's one of the reasons why I'm single and I've never been married and I don't have children. So that gives me a lot of freedom. And I always loved traveling. So I started my business when I was living in yoga. Then I was running it from my camper van. But it was really like a childhood dream to live in the Mediterranean.
I love that.
But my plan was to move to Portugal and
I
we met
know.
there.
We did. And then we both left.
And then it suddenly felt completely misaligned and not right when I was there. It was like, and then my sister suggested to drive to Mallorca. So I was visiting her. She lives in Madrid over Christmas. Why don't you check out Mallorca? Like, okay, maybe. So I found a beautiful Airbnb because it was January and it was way too cold for camping. It's not super cold the winters, but it's uncomfortable. It's like
Okay.
less than 10 degrees. And then I fell in love with the island right away. Right away. So deep. And I started looking for apartments. 2 weeks later, it was the second apartment I looked at. I got it in Poyensa, which is in the north of the island. I won the lottery with my apartment. It's the amazing place. I love it. And it just felt like everything was so aligned. Like I'm meant to be here. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be here forever, but then really the last 2 years, I just wanted to settle. I didn't even want to travel anywhere. I still don't really feel that need. It's a little bit coming back. But I am just really, really happy here. And I love my Spanish neighbors. I still don't speak Spanish I speak more than I did 2 years ago, but
Yeah. Takes time.
I have to just put more time into it. It's not happening by itself. But I have the nicest neighbors, also like Spanish families, not just expat, but also really an international community here. And we have a little co-working and event space. I have a dog, so I meet a lot of people because of my dog. She's very friendly.
We love Luna. I'm a big Luna fan. She is the sweetest little dog.
Everybody in Poyenza knows her in all the shops. She always, I have to say hi to my friend here, and then she gets cuddles, and then she's up to the next store and saying hi there.
I love it.
That's how I meet people.
Luna is the social butterfly of this business.
Very helpful because I'm very introverted. So, yeah, but also, I mean, I have a very quiet life here. I'm cooking for myself, working. I'm very productive right now in summer because it's hot outside. So I can work inside, have the aircon on. And then I do a lot of hiking. Not so much now in the summer or just early mornings or go to the beach in the evenings, stand up paddling. So it's just like beautiful. It's like I don't even need a holiday because I have all those mini breaks every day.
I love that you gave us painted a picture for us of what your life looks like. Can you share a bit about how your online yoga business supports this?
Well, 100% because I don't have any other income. So it's my income is my online business. That's how I make a living and pay my rent and health insurance and all the things.
And I love that you brought this up. I feel like on social media in general, there's a lot of just yoga content. And it's also no, we have a business because we're real people who pay rent and for bills and health insurance. And I think that is definitely what goes into supporting us to have a grounded lifestyle as yoga teachers and online business owners. Can you share perhaps a transformation or what financial freedom has looked like for one of your past clients that maybe they built a digital offer and it looks a little bit different than yours?
Well, one of my clients, for many people, it's different when you have a partner.
Yes.
Who also can, I think it might make things easier. And at the same time, it can hold you back from really stepping up. It's just like for me, freelancing and advertising was holding me back really from stepping up with my own business because I didn't really need the income. I was making really good money in advertising. So I really took my time to grow. So there's always that. I'm very self-motivated. I really love having an online business. I think it's the best thing ever. I remember it's ages ago when I did a round the world trip, I think 2002, before we had smartphones and all that. I mean, we had the internet, we had internet cafes. You met people traveling, like those long-term travelers, and so many of them were like, I never want to see another challenge in my life. They've just I just want to chill. And I never really resonated with that.
Same.
I was like,
yeah.
And so when I went back to Germany, I started working in advertising again. I didn't see, there wasn't really another option. And even though it was a really, really stressful life and job, and there were things about it I really enjoyed, but I didn't like how it was taking over my life. So working crazy hours and weekends and so having that freedom now to make my own days and decide okay, this morning I'm just going to go on a hike and start working at 10 or 11, or I'm taking the afternoon off and then I work on the weekends or in the evenings.
Yeah.
I love that. I love having that freedom. Probably I also don't work as many hours anymore, but I'm not promising someone get to 6 figures in just 2 hours a day or something.
Not real.
But it's different, and you have to build a foundation. I believe that you really have to put in the effort and the work when you're building something up.
I couldn't agree with this more. What is a foundation for an online business owner who is teaching yoga? What does that look like for them?
Well, it means creating an offer suite that supports you. So you have a range or an offer letter. It can be from freebies, your free content. It could be a membership, but honestly, a yoga membership when you're just getting started is one of the hardest things you can do.
I agree.
Not something I recommend because it's little money and you just don't have the audience to fill it. So yes, start with offering private yoga packages. Start thinking about a signature or a methodology that can become yours.
Love this.
Start thinking about problems that you can solve, that you feel like passionate about, talking about like forever. And then, yes, you can still be passionate about learning new things and doing other trainings, but it should be aligned with that, what you solve, who you want to help, basically. Getting clarity about who you want to help, what problem you want to solve, then creating the offers. And then getting over your fears of visibility
Yes.
and start showing up. And that's so hard. I get that.
Do you have
But
any tools or practices that you do yourself that help you get out of your own way so you can show up as your most vibrant and present self?
I don't always show up as my most vibrant and present self. Come on,
That's the practice.
if you wait for that, you probably show up like once every 3 weeks.
It's true. This is a true story.
So you have to figure out what works for you. I have what worked for me really, really well was having the structure of a weekly piece of long form content. Long form content is a blog post or a podcast episode or a YouTube video. And it has longevity. A YouTube
Yeah.
video people can find 5 years from now.
Yes,
What you posted on Instagram, nobody looks at it even 7 days from now.
it's true.
So having that in place, for me, a podcast works well. I can record a podcast episode even when I'm feeling down, my hair looks terrible, I don't know, whatever. My apartment is a mess. I don't care. I can sit down and record a podcast episode. And even if I'm not feeling high vibe, it's still okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I can get into that mood for the 30 minutes it takes me to record it. I struggled with doing YouTube videos. I always think I should start a YouTube channel. I know it would be amazing. And it's like when I'm Googling and it's like always YouTube videos now showing up first, I'm like, ugh, I'm missing out on so much there. But I really, really struggle with that because it takes more energy, the editing, the setup. You have to be really committed. Maybe one day I'll get there.
I think you
But
will.
if you're like, so that's what I mean by you have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
And I think showing up live, like when you're just getting starting, doing a live workshop every month, doing a live something face to camera on Instagram every week.
Yeah.
That's something it's worth committing to. Nothing builds trust and connection as fast as video.
I agree with this because it shows one that you're a real human and that provides human connection for people and it starts establishing that nourishing relationship and the trust. I also think it's just faster and it's easier. Like for me, like I would much rather watch someone's video with captions on it and learn something quickly and like how to implement it into my business versus having to just go down a rabbit hole on Google or wherever to figure it out. And now I have like a real human who I see as an expert in this.
Yes, definitely. And it gets easier with practice. It's just like teaching your first class. You probably were dying inside, feeling like throwing up. And then suddenly it gets easier because you've just done it more often.
It's true. And for me, I see my business as a practice, just like yoga, because like I don't show up to yoga when I feel perfect and I'm having a great day. Most of the time, it's like I'm showing up to yoga because like I need to like get some things out of my body to feel better and to feel just, I don't want to say confident, but just more present with myself. And so I can make better decisions and show up for my clients in a more supportive way after my practice. And I view business the same way. I'm like, my business is a practice. It's not a perfect. And I'm going to show up as my human self. Resonate with that better. Like we need human connection. If we can build that online, that's even better.
Especially now with AI, everybody, like you're going to see so much more perfectly perfect content everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the personal brand, the showing up live in person, this is what's going to make you stand out and what's going to help you really grow your community, real community, and not just like followers who want pictures of a beautiful AI girl doing yoga.
No beautiful AI girls doing yoga here, not on this
That's
podcast.
probably going to, there are now people making money just with AI models, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like
And so
tons of
you
artists.
could probably set up a Instagram account just with an AI model doing beautiful handstands on a beach and have hundreds of thousands of followers. But who are those followers? I mean, are they ever going to buy anything from you or joining a yoga class or a retreat or whatever?
This is something I talk about with my clients all the time because I've met people who buy their followers and then are shocked when those followers that they bought who aren't their real audience don't buy their offers. And it's like, know your audience, like, know who you are first and your values, like you said, and then know your audience. And for me, my audience is like who I was 6 months to 2 years ago, and I'm helping them become who I am right now from a business perspective. So it's like, know yourself so you can build the audience that resonates with you versus people who just want to look at beautiful things. And it's like, for me, if I want to look at beautiful things, I go on Pinterest. And I actually would love to chat about that too. Like, I love building my business on Pinterest even more so than Instagram because it lasts longer, similar to YouTube. And that's the place, like, if I'm going to go view beautiful things, I go there. But if I want to learn something and connect with people, I'm going to go on Instagram.
I mean, I like Instagram. I mean, it's problematic.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I see my Instagram followers growing when I run ads.
Yeah,
So,
same.
and I think if you do that, it's good to also like post on Instagram because new followers, they're going to see more of your content. And then it's this circle basically, right? So having like one piece of long form content or that like a blog post or a podcast and then repurposing that across different platforms. And then that's like my foundation. It's like my
Yeah.
weekly foundation, basically. And then I add to that. So I create more content for Instagram.
Mhm.
I'm setting up a system right now to get better at repurposing that content because there's also a lot of amazing content that I shared only on Instagram.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like this complete eco content ecosystem, basically tracking really, and then seeing, okay, can I turn this into a blog post using
Mhm.
AI? Basically, when you have some really great captions, turn them into blog post.
Yeah.
Optimize, like change the title so it's a little bit more SEO optimized, so it can show up on Google. It answers the question people are searching for, and then create a few images for Pinterest.
I
I
love
mean,
it.
when you are in the yoga or wellness industry, Pinterest is an amazing platform.
Yes.
And even I, like with my little niche, right? So, marketing for yoga teachers, I had high ticket clients who found me on Pinterest.
Yeah, I just launched like a workshop around Pinterest because I got so many leads from Pinterest versus any other social media platform, and I'm someone who hangs out on Pinterest. I find it doesn't stress me out. It actually like helps me fill my creative cup. And I'm like, if that happens for me, then it can happen for other people. And I like launched a freebie and I'm mostly doing it through Pinterest versus my other social media platforms because it's less work, it's more creative, it's more fun, and I'm finding my people. Maybe you can provide perspective on this is like there's so many social media platforms. Like we have Instagram, YouTube, we have podcasts now, we have Pinterest, Facebook, and I don't think I think it's great to have presence on all of them, but perhaps like do you think you should focus on one or two for a bit and like where your people hang out versus just going crazy on all of them and not having as great content across all of them?
I would always start with one and try to master. I mean, master is a big word, but try to get good at on that platform. When you're just getting started, I would create accounts on all platforms. So make
Yes.
sure that you try to get your username if it's still available, or just like a little walk around with I am or the real or I don't know, whatever. So create your accounts. I love systems in my business. So like a little repurposing system. And when it's on my to-do list, it's like, okay, create the Pinterest pins, then it gets done.
Exactly.
And honestly, like for Pinterest, I probably spend like 15 minutes a week.
Yeah, it's quick.
And it's adding, right? So it doesn't really work immediately. I just started a new account for midlife, etc. That's my little side hustle.
We're going to
It's
talk
a
about that.
blog for women in midlife, a collaboration platform. So, and Instagram as well. So I'm growing it from scratch,
I love that.
which is also going to take a while. But yeah, it's interesting to see how fast it's going to happen, basically.
Talk about this side hustle because it's in my opinion it is not talked about enough. So talk about the side hustle midlife and who it's for. My mom is currently going through midlife, and as her daughter, who is now a grown adult, I feel it's my responsibility to educate myself about what women are experiencing in midlife. So, what is your side hustle? Who is it for? And I love how you shared it's a collaboration piece. So, how can people collaborate?
Yes, so I'm 54. I'm in perimenopause. I don't know when you start talking, I'm in menopause. Probably pretty close now. But and a lot of my clients are in that niche where they are working with women in perimenopause, in midlife, around retirement. So I was just like, and my background is content creation. I see
Yeah.
myself really as a creator. I love that. So creating that blog, that platform, I really, really enjoyed that process so much. So it's a little bit my playground, really. I'm still figuring out how I'm going to monetize it, but I have some amazing guest authors already, yoga teachers, relationship coach, like so around hormones, so all the things, Ayurveda. So it's a mix of categories. It's around wellness, yoga, feeling better, basically, feeling like living your best life, no matter your age.
And what inspired you to start this? Like, did you feel that there was a lack of this in general for people going through midlife?
A little bit that. We also, like when I really saw myself like working more with women in midlife, that's when the idea started. Even though I niched back to work, to not brand myself as a midlife business coach, because that
Mm,
felt like super weird,
okay.
just focusing on the age and not focusing on what problems I solve. Don't do that. Don't do
Noted.
that. That was a really bad idea.
But you learn. I feel like that's part of being like a wellness entrepreneur is like we do things and like if it doesn't work, okay, we learn something from it and then we're not going to do that again.
Yes, it's probably already new because it's not what I taught people to do. But anyway, that's actually when I had the idea. And then I did research. There was really nothing out there. It's a completely underserved audience. So I
Yeah.
have a really big vision for it. I see it like Mind Body Green or Goop before it became a shop.
Yeah.
But maybe I might even develop physical products. I'm starting the podcast now. I have already some amazing guests lined up. So if you know some people, send them my
Do.
way. I'm always looking for guest authors. And as I said, I just started growing, like posting on Instagram, on Pinterest, adding more blog posts. So it's slowly start growing. It's growing organically, a little bit as a side hustle.
Yeah.
But I think the potential is huge. And I'm just really excited also to get a little bit outside of this online business coaching bubble and have a second thing, also like a second income to not rely only on one business. And
Yes.
I think it works beautiful together as well. So I also wrote some blog posts about building your business in midlife or changing careers. And yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about having multiple streams of income as online business owners and as yoga teachers? Do you think it's always needed to have multiple streams, like to have a full-time business and then to have a side hustle, or do you think it depends on the type of business you have?
My God, I think it really is so different for everybody. I think when you just finished yoga teacher trainings, don't quit your day job the next week.
Please don't do this. Please don't do this. As someone who has done this, please don't do this.
I didn't, like I was still freelancing the first years while building my online business. You're not going to make six figures in 6 months,
Teaching
probably.
yoga alone. No.
So it just like, it takes time. I really believe you have to focus on, or there's so much value in focusing on one thing, like creating that one signature offer, putting it out there, setting up your funnel and not listening to that inner voice telling you should do this and now you should do that and now you should do that, but really putting it out there. And I know it's not always easy and tough, and I'm right there where I'm focused on optimizing, improving the funnel things, which is like, who really enjoys doing that, right? I don't.
Yeah. No,
I
never.
don't. I mean, ChatGPT is amazing. You just take a screenshot of your Facebook ad overview and everything and just put it in there and it tells you what's wrong.
I love that.
But still, and then it's like, I have to create another bundle for the tripwire and the thank you page because it's not working. But this is the secret to success, is really that grit to
Yeah.
sticking with it. And that's what you see with successful big companies. They don't put out an amazing offer and that's it for the next 10 years, right?
No.
It's iteration after iteration after iteration. You improve it. It's but you stick with it. That grit, I think, is really important. It doesn't mean that it has to be that one thing. But, I've built this business for the last 8 years, and now I'm starting something on the side.
Exactly. So you built a whole foundation in a business that's working based on things that you learned that worked and didn't work. And I would also love for you shared about bundles. And for me, it's I have a bundle and I think it might not be the bundle that's not selling if people are having issues with that. It's the way that you're talking about it could be an issue as well. What do you think about that?
It can always be an issue, right? The
Right.
messaging is very, very often the issue. Oh, what I have is my free training that I invite people to, and I'm running ads to that. And it's how I sell my online courses every day, how I build a sales engine. And then on the thank you page, people get the message, thank you so much for signing up. The invitation is on its way to your inbox, and before you leave, I have this offer for you.
I
So,
love
and
that.
that offer was first my low ticket course, how to create a low ticket offer. That didn't really work. Now I'm trying my ChatGPT business coach workbook for $27. And then I was brainstorming this morning with ChatGPT, and it said what could really work is a bundle that you sell for $77. And so it's a little bit higher price, but it needs to be really valuable because it needs to be really aligned with the training, obviously, and then
Exactly.
the program. So figuring that out without having to create something new, how can I package things that I have? And it's you're like, I mean, I started talking about that because then I was like, oh, okay, now I have to set this up. But that's the grit of making it work,
Yeah.
trying to figure out, this is not working, how can I make it better? Instead of saying, let's focus on something completely new.
Yeah, I really agree with this as someone who is passionate about multiple things. I think for me at the end of the day, I will always love yoga. And I think it's really important that you love what you do versus just running a business to make money. You have to be passionate about what you do because for me, on the days when things are not working, it's but I love yoga, so I'm going to keep going because I fully believe that yoga is here to impact the world. Do you agree with that? That you need to love what you do for the days when it's hard?
Yes, 100%. I want to have a passion-filled life and business. And I love online business. I can come up with an idea for an online business for everybody I meet. Not
It's true.
everybody likes that.
I think it's great. I'm someone who does love that, but that's just because I'm in this industry.
Sometimes people are a little bit, well, yeah, okay, overwhelmed. But no, definitely, life is too short to do something you don't love. I mean, sometimes I had those moments. I mean, I was working in advertising. It was not the most well-paid industry compared to, I don't know, finances. And then I was working in Geneva, so I met a lot of people working in banks and in finances, and they made so much money. And I was thinking, I studied economics, and maybe I should have gone in that direction. But then I really loved the creativity and that creating
Yeah.
something in a team so much. So I knew, yeah. And they can take a while, right? So to
Yeah.
really find your way in life, to figure out what really works for you and what you are really passionate about, and it can also change. I
Yeah.
think when you love yoga and you do yoga and you're already practicing that awareness muscle, that's
Yes.
going to take over your life anyway.
It's true. Yoga's a lifestyle. Once you're in it, you're in it. And I think it's also important to feed the other passions as well and decide just because you're passionate about a million things, they don't all have to be your business. Choose the one that for me it's the one that lights you up most, but also the one that's going to serve the most people and make you a good profit.
Yes, you can have hobbies.
Yeah. Permission to have hobbies that are not profitable.
Probably a really good idea.
Before we wrap this up, I had one last question for you because you brought it up and you talked about how you are in your mid 50s and you run your own business as a single woman. And I also run my own business as a single woman, and how you don't have like, I don't want to say you don't have, but you are not living the typical like get married, have kids, start a family and like go work for a 9 to 5. Can you share a little bit about like women who might be interested or just people who might be interested in this in the yoga industry to not live the lifestyle we're told to live versus like living the lifestyle that like brings us the most joy and freedom?
Yeah, that's such a big question. It gets easier when you get older. People don't ask anymore where the children when you're in your 50s. I think there's more acceptance because maybe also because of social media and the internet that we see so many different lifestyles. Like when I was growing up or in my 30s, there weren't any different lifestyles. There was just this one way basically. You marry, you have a career, you have children, and it felt a little bit outside of that, right?
Mm,
But I still think we need more voices
yes.
there. It's interesting. I think I read one day somewhere that there's always been a percentage in every society of women staying unmarried, like 10% or something, back in history. Always,
Yes.
in all societies, but it wasn't really talked about or it was belittled or like sad. It's not sad.
Not at all. I feel like
It's
I'm
not
really
sad.
happy.
Yes. So, yes, we need more voices sharing those alternative lifestyles to, I don't know what Hollywood is teaching us.
I agree, like, it's not what you see in the movies or even, like, the life that we're taught to live. Like, I feel like I'm so happy in the life I've created for myself through my business, and I'm proud to say that I did that, and I'm proud to say that I have a community who also backs me, and for me, like, community is so much more, impactful and nourishing versus just having, like, one person to rely on, and, to me, that's not for me, it's not the way that I wanna build my life. Like, I want to have myself and my rich community versus just pouring community into one other person. There's so much more out there.
Yes. And the truth is, I mean, also for people in relationships, I mean, you can have an amazing relationship, but it can also feel like very restricting. I mean, how many relationships do you know that you really think, yeah, that's amazing. I wish I would be in that relationship. How many are there where you think, I don't think they're really happy?
Yeah, it's so true.
So, but also like, I mean, being single it's not always like super happy and nothing is really. It's always like, it's just like your life. I don't know.
It's the life you choose too, I
It's just,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't look for a partner. I don't worry about it. It's not on my mind. It's like really
Yeah.
weird. Sometimes I have like those things. Maybe I should really be more active. Maybe there probably are some blocks and fears and issues and everything buried like really, really deep. I don't know. But I don't really feel the need to unearth that.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy with where I am and what my life looks like.
And I love that you are someone who is like a walking example of this, that like this is what your life can look like as a woman and as a yoga teacher and a business owner. And you can do it this way and be just as fulfilled and just as financially supported and free.
Yeah, 100%.
So, if there are yoga teachers listening to this and they want to build a digital offer, whether they're fresh out of teacher training or they have been in this industry for a while and they really just need support on building that foundation, where can they find you and how can they work with you?
So they can find me on my website, susannerieker.com, SusanneRieker.com. Is that funny German spelling? Or on Instagram with the same name. I have a great low ticket offer for how to create your own small digital product, and it's just $37. So that's a great way to get started, just to put something out there.
Beautiful. We will be putting all of this in the show notes as well. We'll be having an Instagram post on this. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon as well. That way, you can learn more from Susanna and how to financially support yourself in the digital world as a yoga teacher. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we close out?
No, thank you, Britta. It was just like so amazing to reconnect with you again. And I loved our conversation. And I hope our listeners are going to enjoy it. I'm always there. When people, when you have questions, you can DM me. I love to hear from everybody.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for joining us today and sharing your expertise. And We will catch everyone on the next episode of the Yes Pod. Thank you. If you are a women-run business and want to be featured as a commercial on the Yes Podcast, then send an email to britta@brittamareda.com or check the show notes to get the details. Thank you for listening to the Your Entrepreneurship School podcast. If funding your life abroad sounds like something you want to do, then check out the show notes to find out ways we can work together. If you feel called to leave a review, then you can find me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. I'll see you on our next episode where we will expand our business bank accounts in brilliance without settling for a life that tames us, all while saying yes to our wildest dreams.